Hello, everybody, and good morning. It is a Thursday, March 26th, 2026, and we are into our fourth volume of new treks, which are considered as spin off series from the original TOS Star Trek and the other series that preceded these new treks, which of course was, Star Trek, the animated series, then Star Trek, The Next Generation, Star Trek DS9, and finally Star Trek Voyager. And then after that was Star Trek Enterprise. So anything that followed after that from 2005 until now is considered new treks, and these are spin off series. And we started back on March 23rd with Star Trek Discovery, or Disco. Then we started the next day with Star Trek Short Treks, then Picard, and now we're on to Lower Decks, which is considered the second animated series next to Star Trek the animated series, which was about the original cast. This one is entirely different. It's another type of Star Trek, but it's within the canon, so-called canon of. Hello, Fam Toby. Hey, brother. Yeah, I'm a bit tired, my brother. Yes, you're first in the box. Yeah, Kevin's theme is probably tired. He was probably went to bed. It's fine. I'm glad you're here first, Mr. Toby. Absolutely. Okay. So we've got after tonight on the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, we have our next four volumes. The fifth volume will be about Prodigy. That's the other one, animated. Then you got Strange New Worlds. That'll come up on the 28th. And finally, I'll do my final summation of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which I considered a very good series. And I did rate it a full on B, which was an 8 out of 10 for the entire series itself. But I'm just going to give you what the final numbers were for it. Won't talk about anybody or anything. Just kind of go, put it out there, let you know what was left and what the future might be of it. You never know. Yeah, and then on the 30th, we will talk about what is the future of Star Trek moving forward from where after Picard they were going to do this series they supposedly were going to title Star Trek Legacy, or would it be Star Trek Legends? We just don't know. As far as we understand it, Jerry Ryan playing Seven of Nine, who is now Captain Seven of Nine, and then you got Jack Crusher, who is Beverly and Picard's, well, Picard's adopted son, but Beverly Crusher's original, uh, you know, husband, whatever, for whatever reason, and which they both, gave birth to Wesley Crusher. Shut up, Wesley. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, this will be volume 4, then Prodigy, then Strange New Worlds, then final Starfleet Academy information, and then what is the future after uh, Picard. So, okay. So let's go ahead and talk about Star Trek Lower Decks. This is an adventure, 5 seasons in the making. And it's a Paramount Plus original. It's adult animation, space sci fi, action adventure, animation, comedy, and sci fi. And the overall rating of it lasted from 2020 to 2024. So for 5 seasons, 10 episodes per season, so a total of 50 episodes. 7.8 out of 10, which is a pretty high, C or B minus or C plus to a B, which would be straight 8 out of 10. So, yeah, I would round it up and give it a B. Yeah, it had a B grade. Let's see. The plot is the support crew serving on one of Starfleet's least important ships, the USS Cerritos, have to keep up with their duties, often while the ship is being rocked by a multitude of sci fi anomalies. The creator of this series was Mike McMahon. And of course, we'll look at him. And then we'll do brief mini bios, of course, on Tawny Newsome, who is the voice in this. Jack Quaid is another voice, and Noel Wells is another voice. Yeah. So, like I said, on this, we're just giving basic information and just a few of the, and of course, the one creator and just a few of the actors that participated. Yeah. And like we said, this show had 10 episodes per season, starting with episode 1, season 1, Second Contact. And that started on Thursday, August 6, 2020. And then it finally ended, like I said, in 2024. I'll get you the exact date at least for that. And we'll take a look here at what else went on with the show here. Okay. Right. Okay. So the next, and so the final episode ended the series Thursday, December 19th, 2024. So less than 6 days to Christmas. And that episode was from season 5, episode 10, called The New Next Generation. It was the season finale where lots of wild stuff happens. That's all they had on that. So, okay. So let's go ahead and take a look then. Yeah, let's go with the cast and crew first. The three main people, and then we'll look at the creator. So, all right. So Tawny Newsome did the voice of Ensign Beckett Mariner and Lieutenant J.G. Beckett Mariner later. And so she did all 50 episodes. Then there was the other main star, Ensign Brad Boimler. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Played by Jack Quaid. And then Ensign Devana Tendi, who was played by Noel Wells. All right, so let's oh, and by the way, a few other great voices in there. Jerry O'Connell, who is now married to Rebecca Romaine, lucky SOB. Commander Jack Ransom, he was the voice of him. And then Fred Tatasciore played Lieutenant Shax and for 50 episodes. And those are two well-known two well-known actors or actresses with voiceover work that they've done through other series. So, yeah, just a couple of people there to mention offhand. But yeah, we're going to look at Tawny and Jack and Noel. So let's go to Tawny first. Okay. And Tawny Newsome is known for playing Angela Ali in Netflix's Space Force, Ensign Beckett Mariner in Star Trek Lower Decks, Gabby in IFC's Brockmire, and Chelsea Late Lee in Pluto's Bajillion Dollar Properties. You may have also caught her in fun comedies like NBC's Superstore, IFC's Sherman's Showcase, and NBC's Perfect Harmony. She also hosts the official Star Trek podcast, Star Trek The Pod Directive, along with Paul F. Tompkins. She was born February 24th, 1983, so officially she is 43 years of age since she just had a birthday. Okay, now, you might have also recognized her from Star Trek Starfleet Academy. In that TV series, she was Professor Ilya Dax, and that was episode 5 from season 1, which told the story about Sam, or that's the acronym for Series Acclamation Mill, which was a good episode. Before that, in 2020 to 2024, as I said, she did all 50 episodes of Lower Decks over the 5-season period. But before that, she, in 2019, was the voice of an agency employee number 1 in Spies in Disguise. And then she did appear in a live action movie in 2021 called Vacation Friends, where she plays the role of Brooke. And according to IMDb, after she did Academy's one episode, she went on to do an episode of a TV series called Strip Law. I did a voice for that. It's season 1, episode 3, called The Bad News Bapples, which is like apples, except you add a letter B there. And Tawny does have 2 things. One in pre-production called Love and Improv, where she plays a character named Vicky Sullivan. And then in post-production right now, it's an animated movie, I think, because it's called Bolio Spirit of the Mustang. It actually sounds like a animated feature, so we'll see. Like I said, that for Tawny, and of course she is an actress, a producer, and a writer. So Tawny Newsom. Okay. All right, now let's look at Jack Quaid. And Jack Henry Quaid is an American actor. He made his acting debut with a minor role in the dystopian film The Hunger Games in 2012, before his breakout role as vigilante Huey Campbell in the Amazon Prime Video superhero series The Boys in 2019. Among other roles, he was part of the main cast of HBO's Vinyl in 2016 and had numerous voice acting roles, such as Brad Boimler in Star Trek Lower Decks, and he also played Richie Kirsch in the slasher film Scream in 2022. He was born April 24th, 1992, so right now he is the age of 33. So if he makes it to April, he'll be 34. He's an actor, writer, producer. Okay, so he was the guy Marvel in the Hunger Games original in 2012. Excuse me. In 2022, he appeared, as I said, in Scream as Richie Kirsch. And then, let's see. In 2025, he was in 2 different movies, one called Companion, where he plays Josh, and in Novocaine, where he plays Nate from 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, sorry. And he did a video game voice of Ice in this year called God of War Sons of Sparta. Sons of Sparta! Yeah. And in the TV series, My Adventures with Superman, from 2023 to 2025, he was in 20 episodes of that series as Clark Kent, Superman, and Kal-El. That's cool. And he's been in as Cash Tuckaway. He worked on one episode of Smosh Presents We're All Gonna Die. And according to the IMDb information background here, he is in a episode. He was in an episode called Mrs. It says from 2013. It was season 1, episode 2. He played Jack in an episode called The Blind Date. And that, been released a long time ago. And then, like we said, he was in 8 episodes this year of The Boys, which is a superhero type series as Huey Campbell. And right now in post-production is a vehicle called Close Personal Friends, which he's working on. So that is Jack Quaid. I believe, I don't know if he is related to Randy Quaid. Well, let's take a look. Let's see here. Jack Henry Quaid. Okay, no. Jack Quaid is related to Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan, and Laura Quaid. His cousin is Amanda. His grandparent is Buddy. His half sibling is Zoe. The other half sibling is Thomas Quaid. Yeah, and yes, he is related to Randy Quaid, where Randy would be his uncle and Buddy Quaid would be his other uncle. So, yes, he's related to Dennis and Randy. Randy! Okay. Yeah. All right. So, let's see if we can get back. Yeah, there we go. All right. And now we'll look at Noel Wells. And before we do, like we said, Toby came in and he said, "Hey, brother, I'm first. I'm still up and watching a video." And Toby also said, "I saw the score for Giants game. Yeah, it was terrible, dude. 7-0. We got killed." Yeah, exactly. brother J, brother J, yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, he says so much for sleep, A. Well, no, I needed to get this done. That was the other reason I'm sorry I left. I hope I didn't leave too abruptly. I had to get this done before I went to bed. I realized I set myself a commitment to finish these new Trek spin-off series, just brief summations of them and summarization, and then hit the sack. So, but I hope I helped you out a lot there, Jay. I hope I did. I hope I helped you out, brother. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about Noel Wells here real quick. Okay. So Noelle Wells, actress, director, and writer, she was born on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas in 1986, in San Antonio, Texas. She is an actress and director known for Mr. Roosevelt in 2017. She was a part of Saturday Night Live back in 1975. Well, okay. And Star Trek Lower Decks, of course, the voice of Devantil in 2020. And so right now she is the age of 39. So when she reaches Christmas season, and then she'll reach 40. So, okay, in the movie Mr. Roosevelt, she played Emily Martin. And then in the Saturday Night Live TV series, she did appear in various sketches from 2013 to 2014. And then in Lower Decks, as I said, as Ensign Devana Tendi, she did appear in all 50 episodes over the 5-year season of Lower Decks. And then in Master of None, which is a TV series from 2015 to 2017, she was in 8 episodes of that as a character named Rachel. Okay. And after she did Lower Decks, it says from 2018 to 2025, additional voices along with being a voice of Kelsey and a voice of Mortimer. She was in a TV series called Craig of the Creek, like I said, for 150 episodes. And then there is in post production, she's doing a voice for I believe, an animated movie called The Adventures of Drunky. So that is Noel Wells, actress, director, and writer. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and finish the night off here on this, and we'll look at Mike McMahon, who was the creator and worked on all of the episodes for Lower Decks. Okay, Mike McMahon is a writer, producer, and he works in the production department. He is known for working on the series Rick and Morty in 2013, then Lower Decks, and he did recently work on the reboot of the Fantastic Four called The Fantastic Four First Steps, which my wife and I saw back in 2025. And according to the IMDb, he has won at least 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. Okay. He was the writer for Rick and Morty from 2014 to 2019. He worked on 15 episodes. In Lower Decks, he was not, like I said, not only the writer, but the one of the actual creators of the show for all 50 episodes. He did write one episode for Star Trek Short Treks back in 2019. It was from season 1, episode 4, called The Escape Artist. And in that, he wrote it as his name was Michael McMahon. So he did it that way. And then he worked on the script and continuity department in the Fantastic Four First Steps movie in 2025. And according to IMDb, after he finished Lower Decks, he continued to write for a TV series called Solar Opposites that he created and wrote, and that was for 63 episodes from 2020 to 2025. And it looks like here he's going to create a new TV series called Golden Axe, which is supposed to come out soon. So that is upcoming for him. So that is Mike McMahon. All right. And I don't know if it gives his age or anything like that. No, it doesn't. Just a brief biography of the man. All right. Okay, so as I mentioned, on Friday sometime during either the day or early morning like this, or at night, or whenever I can, I will talk about Star Trek Prodigy. And we'll talk about that series and the creator of that, or if there's a few creators that we don't recognize. We got one like that is totally cool. Okay, so this was really, like I said, appreciate you, Sci-Fi Nation. My brother Jay there in Michigania. I know of his loss, and we're all feeling it right now. The loss of his darling Nikki, and we are saying lots of prayers, lots of love, lots of support for Mr. Sci-Fi Nation there. And also, we want to thank Fam Toby for coming. Thank you both, gentlemen, for accommodating me for a couple minutes here while I finish my next volume. Excuse me. Okay, so after we finish our final volume, which will be, like I said, volume. Let's cross out this one so I don't forget it. There we go. There we go. Take care of that. Okay. So when we finish volume 8, which I said, what is the future of Star Trek after Picard? After that's done on March 30th, Suzanne and I are taking a day for ourselves. It's our date night, is what we call it. Date day, whatever you want to call it. And that's where we, go out for breakfast in the morning at Tim Hortons. Then we go to A&W for a nice, refreshing burger, good for you, stuff like that. And then we go and go see a movie. And we're going to go see a movie called They Will Kill You. Some kind of horror flick, which we both enjoyed. And so much for Sleep A. Yeah, for sure. But I love you, Jay. All right. And Toby, love you too, sir. And I hope that when you get to Indiana or when you're on the way, let us know, okay? So we know that you're safe. All right. So after, like I said, after we finish these final 4 volumes, and then we go out together. And then after that, starting April 1st, the next project I have in mind is doing the 4-part series from Jesus of Nazareth, that wonderful religious TV miniseries, one of the best of all times that came out in the early years of TV, miniseries like Roots and things like that. And I will be covering all 4 episodes, parts from 1 through 4 over the course of April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which will lead right up to, of course, Easter Sunday, which is April 5th. Now, after that's done, I will be taking 8 days off, which means after Easter, and then for a week, we'll take a week off. when we come back on April 13th, that's when we're going to talk about the final and fifth season of Get Smart. We'll cover every episode there, all 26. Then we'll also cover the new Get Smart, which came out in 1995. There were only 7 episodes of that. So over the course of 3 days, we'll cover all 7 of those episodes real briefly in the way we do it. And then finally, I need volunteers to help me out with 3 movies that came from the Get Smart franchise. One was called The Nude Bomb. Yeah, I did say nude, didn't I? Say, yeah, Nude. Yes. That came out in 1980. Then we have the TV movie, which came out in 1989, just shortly after Edward Platt as Chief passed away. But it might have came out before he passed away. I don't know for sure. Well, when we take a look at it, but that was called Get Smart, again, and like I said, it featured the original cast. Probably one of the last times they all got together. And then there was the reboot, which featured Steve Carell as 86, Anne Hathaway as 99. Dwayne The Rock Johnson came in to play the role of Agent 23. Adam Arkin came in to play, the role of Chief. And then you had David Ketchum, who came from the original series back in the day, and he reprised his role as Agent 13 in a few scenes where he disappeared into locker rooms, lockers, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that should be a lot of fun to talk about. And like I said, we'll talk about all 3 movies, but I will need some help with that. So, as soon as we're done, as soon as we're done with the 1995 new Get Smart, then I'll need some help. So, anybody wants to volunteer and you're friends with us on Facebook, and also if you're friends with us on Twitter, Twatter, or X as they call it, please let me know under my Chatty Blogger. There's a different kind of address there. But if you're following me if you're following us on X, it should be available to you, and then you just let me know in a message there, or a comment, or anything like that. If you want to go ahead and offer your services on our panel to talk about those 3 Get Smart I'll Shoot movies that came from the series. Okay. All right, so one more time, thank you, Toby. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation, Jason. Thank you Jay. Thank you so much for helping and for allowing me on your panel too. There, Jay earlier, and of course Jim's Landscape for allowing me on his panel as well. So, and Chrissy, I am sorry that I couldn't make your stream tonight or last night for Brainbender's Banter with your panel versus chat. And as I said, I probably won't be able to make this coming Saturday. Chance Bartels, if you're watching this, sir, I probably won't be able to make your thing if you do manage to do it. We got way too much stuff going on. And we're still trying to help a friend, that was just here, we're trying to help him out. Okay, so everybody take care. As Suzanne always says, leave everything in God's hands as being a Universal Life Church minister. As my friend Brother Larry says, always be yourself. Sorry, I'm falling asleep. And then as my brothers Jim and Matt say, remember, you'll never know where you'll hear or see me next. So don't forget to hit that dang bell. That thing there. There you go. And of course, last but not least, that wonderful brother, Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert at the Movies, who told me, and now the aisle's closed. So remember, have a great day, everyone. Oh, and one last thing. Together strong all year long. That's my own personal meme. So, all right. So God bless everyone. And of course, a quick prayer, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, for everybody that came here in the chat now this morning, and for all our friends all 89 wonderful extended family members, not just subscribers to us. And we really appreciate all your help and all your prayers and love and support for us. So thank you. All right. And so peace from Mikey Sue's and of course our cats Moonpie and Deja Vu. So remember ChattyBloggerMS, which stands for Mikey Sue's. Everybody take care, and we'll see you again on the 27th Friday sometime when we talk about Star Trek Prodigy. Until then, bon voyage.